Yo, what's good? It's your boy, the Expert Genius, aka XP, and I'm back with another video. This time talking about my boy Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez. Because I've been seeing a little narrative being pushed online and social media about Caleb Plant is ducking Canelo Alvarez, and I just want to know how. How is he ducking Canelo Alvarez? He basically said that, he just now coming off a fight, and that wouldn't give him enough time to rest and heal and, to have a proper training camp. So he doesn't want to fight him in May. But, Canelo can fight Billy Joe Saunders, and he'll fight David Benavidez, which, my opinion, he's given Canelo the easier fight by fighting Billy Joe Saunders, while he takes the harder fight in David Benavidez. And then after that, they can meet for all the marbles. So, to me, has that ducking. And he also mentioned how he wasn't going to pull a Kovalev, because we all know Kovalev, he just took the money against Canelo. He's basically sold his belt. Then he wants to come out, and try to put Canelo and Golden Boy on blast by, not having the correct time to heal up and proper time to train and the rehydration clause. But to me, Golden Boy and Canelo didn't force you to do that. You did that yourself for the money. Caleb Plant has more pride and respect in himself not to do that. So props go to Caleb Plant for that. And then I also hear, people talking about, well, Caleb Plant, he needs to take the fight, dare to be great. Why is he talking about not having enough time to fight when he's fought 6 times in 2015? Okay. Yeah, he fought 6 times in 2015. Well, he started his career in 2014, I believe, or something. No, it might have been more than 2014 or whatever. But he fought 5 times in 2014. I mean, come on. It's much easier to fight 5 and 6 times a year when you're starting your career, and the competition, they're putting you off in there with people, and the competition is not that stiff. That's different when you're at the top of your game, and now everybody that you're fighting is either a champion, a former champion, or a contender. No more prospects and no more gatekeepers. So that's totally different. And I know some of y'all are going to try to bring up, well, back in the day, they used to fight anywhere from 6 to 12 times a month. Yeah, they used to do that back in the day, but they wasn't getting paid like the fighters are today. So, yeah, they were daring to be great back then, but they were also trying to make a living and put food on the table for their families. So they had to fight like that. Fighters nowadays, even though we would love for them to do that, they don't have to do that because the amount of money they making. This is their livelihoods. So I'm in all agreement with Caleb Plant. Fight me on a even playing field. Let me have enough time to heal up and rest, and let me have a proper training camp, and then we can fight. Because we all know he's gonna put a rehydration clause on Caleb Plant, which somebody also was telling me that for Caleb Plant, if Canelo puts a rehydration clause on Caleb Plant, it's really not going to matter because he's always in shape, and that's not going to do anything. You keep telling yourself that. Canelo has put a rehydration clause on everybody he has fought other than Amir Khan, who tried to use that same rehydration clause on him, and him and Golden Boy denied Amir Khan that. And the same guy gonna say that, he has, basically trying to justify those rehydration clauses for Canelo, because he's saying, these guys are they're like, he's fighting bigger guys. They're like 10 pounds bigger than him. So, the rehydration clause, has to be done. Basically saying it has to be done because the guys are bigger than him. What was that for Amir Khan? And my thing is, only way I can see a rehydration clause if it's something like Amir Khan's case where you're just moving up to fight somebody, and that's like a one-off because you don't plan on sticking around in that division. You and that guy just chose to fight each other, and y'all fought it that way, and then you're going back down to your class. Then I can see a rehydration clause. But to me, if you're fighting in that division, or you decide you're going to fight for a belt in that division, and you're trying to campaign at that division, if you're man enough to step into that division, you should be man enough to accept what comes in that division. Stop putting these silly rehydration clause on people that's in your weight class that you're campaigning in. Stop trying to fight fighters like, cause we know Sergey Kovalev, is on a decline, but at the same time, stop trying to fight these fighters and not giving them, enough time to heal up and have a proper training camp. And the guy also wants to talk about, how Caleb Plant, saying all that stuff in the press conference, talking about, he's acting entitled. How is Caleb Plant acting entitled? But you're not going to say Canelo Alvarez is acting entitled. All the little silly BS he does to have the advantages, y'all don't want to call that entitlement. But because a fighter is pointing that out and said he's not willing, to sell his O or sell his belt like Kovalev, now he's ducking. And but before y'all get into the whole May 2nd thing about, he only fights, in May and September. No, that's bullcrap. Because if that was the case, why didn't he fight Kovalev in September? He fought him in November. Why didn't he fight him in September? He could easily had pushed this date back for if he wanted to fight Caleb Plant, he could have easily pushed this fight back to June or July. August at the latest. If he really wanted to fight Caleb Plant. And the stuff is just, you Canelo fans are becoming worse than AJ fans. I'm sorry, y'all becoming worse than AJ fans. This stuff is just unbelievable. And Canelo is a good fight. He's a damn good fighter. And like my boy BFTV said, half of the stuff Canelo does, he don't have to do. He don't. But he does it anyway. Canelo is not going to step into a fight where it's an equal playing field. He's not. If it's an equal playing field, he's not going to do it. And y'all know I'm a Pretty Boy Floyd fan, but when it comes to Money Mayweather, I'm one of the biggest critics of Money Mayweather. Y'all can't say, well, Floyd did it. No, because Canelo done took this to a whole new level. Whole new level. And we all know that when it comes to the Pacquiao situation, which I'm in the minority. I'm one of the ones that still think Pacquiao won that fight, but you know, that's a different argument. But at least he got in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. At least he met him at a basketball game, approached him to set this fight up. When has Canelo done that with Demetrius Andrade? Especially when Andrade was the WBO champion at 154 and called Canelo out, and he didn't want to fight Andrade. Waits till Andrade drops his belt, and then Liam Smith fights for a vacant title that Andrade dropped. Then all of a sudden, Canelo wants to fight for that WBO title. When has he tried to make this fight with Andrade? When Jermell Charlo, you know, was trying to fight Canelo and was with Golden Boy. Canelo didn't want to fight him, and Bernard and Oscar, you know, wasn't trying to make the fight either, lying to Jermell, so he left Golden Boy. What was him trying to make the fight with Jermell? Now at 160, where's him trying to make the fight with Jamal? We gave Floyd Mayweather hell, called him all kind of chickens, called him all kind of cowards. When you Google Floyd Mayweather and coward, or not just Floyd Mayweather and coward, when you Google boxing cowards, Floyd Mayweather on the first 14 pages on the Google search, all you seen was Floyd Mayweather's name. Where's that same energy for Canelo? And going back to the, you know, the Cinco de Mayo thing, and, you know, fighting in September, you know, for I guess Puerto Ricans and all that kind of stuff. I want y'all to tell me what Mexican fighter, and I love my Mexicans, but I want you to tell me what Mexican fighter, when Floyd Mayweather was fighting on Cinco de Mayo and making that into May Day, what Mexican fighter you know that was talking about they were going to take Cinco de Mayo back? None. None of them. Except for Canelo. And most of the Mexican legends and most of the Mexican fans don't rock with Canelo. And to be honest, if I was a Mexican fighter and Floyd was doing that, I'd be like, okay, take Cinco de Mayo, because you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to take Juneteenth. I'm about to take Juneteenth. I'm gonna fight on Juneteenth weekend or close to Juneteenth, and every time I'm gonna wear you know, a big red uniform, have big red logo on it. Yeah, that's gonna be me. You want to take Cinco de Mayo? I'm gonna take Juneteenth. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm just not gonna get into it. But Caleb Plant is not ducking Canelo. Nowhere in his little press conference did he say he was ducking Canelo. He just wanted the proper time and the fight on equal footings against Canelo. Unlike Canelo. And getting back into the Billy Joe Saunders thing, how even though Caleb Plant mentioned this, and we already know he was working on this with Canelo was working on this with Billy Joe Saunders. How is Canelo gonna fight Billy Joe Saunders, who has the same kind of style as Demetrius Andrade, except he doesn't hit as hard as Demetrius Andrade? How's Canelo gonna fight him, but then call Demetrius Andrade boring? Anybody? Nobody gonna mention that? Nobody want to talk about that? To me, man, y'all need to put some respect on Caleb Plant's name for being a real champion, a true champion. He ain't out here. He been calling for David Benavidez and all that kind of stuff, but he ain't out here trying to fight David Benavidez on short notice. He ain't out here trying to fight Callum Smith on short notice. He ain't out here trying to fight Canelo Alvarez on short notice. And none of these fighters are trying to fight each other on short notice. Only one that's trying to do this BS is Canelo Alvarez, because he wants all the advantages he can have. He already gonna have the rehydration clause in his advantage. He already gonna have the judges in his advantage, because we all know once you go into a fight with Canelo, you already 6 to 8 rounds down before the fight even starts. But this has just been my thing on this whole situation, and people trying to say that Caleb Plant is ducking Canelo Alvarez, and Caleb Plant don't want no smoke with Canelo Alvarez, when it's complete BS. If you really want to be serious about the situation, Canelo Alvarez don't want no smoke with top fighters his age or around his age. Like Jamal said, they both 29. They both champions. And another thing, because people know I rock with Jamal Charlo more than I do Jermell Charlo. I like Jamal. To me, he's a better, stronger fighter than his little brother Jermell. But how are y'all gonna call Jamal Charlo a paper champion when the belt he has is a belt Canelo dropped because he did not want to fight Jamal? Y'all forgot he dropped that belt to become a franchise champion just so he didn't have to fight Jamal? And let's talk about the WBC for a minute. Remember, Jamal was Golovkin's mandatory, because he was the WBC interim champion. They were saying that the winner of Canelo and Golovkin, had to face Jamal Charlo. But after the second fight, and they gave the fight to Canelo, they switched that narrative and said that Triple G had to face Jamal. What happened to the winner having to face Jamal? Protection. They They were trying to buy time to come up with this franchise championship to give to Canelo so he didn't have to fight Jamal. Y'all want to get on here and say Caleb Plant wants no smoke and is ducking Canelo. Well, Canelo wants no smoke and he's been ducking Andrade and both Charlo brothers. And Errol Spence said he was going to call their bluff after he beat Sean Porter. Because, Canelo was talking about he wanted to fight Errol Spence, and Oscar De La Hoya was talking about how, he was interested in making that fight and all that kind of stuff. Where's that talk now? I know, I think Oscar mentioned it a couple of times after Errol Spence beat Sean Porter. Where's that talk with Canelo? Where is it? I'm waiting. So is it safe to say that he was clout chasing Errol Spence and Errol Spence just pulled his whole card? Is it safe to say he wants no smoke with Errol Spence? Come on, man. He's not the face of boxing no more. His star power is dwindling. We need a new up and coming Mexican fighter to represent Mexico, because Canelo is not it. That's all I gotta say on it. It's your boy, the Expert Genius. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.